Today we're going to be looking at tools. We got our bare workbench right now. You can see some tools on the pegboard there. Basically, I wanted to do a video about some tools of the trade for people who like doing work at home or anyone who might be interested in getting into it a little more seriously. This is a rundown of my experience over the past almost 2 years. What's worked well, what I should have spent more money on, etc., etc. So without further ado, let's get started. So depending on what you want to focus on, if you're an individual just wanting to do your own work or starting your business, here's some essentials no matter who you are. Number one, maybe some cleaning mats. I also just like these as diagrams for the most common pistols that I do work on. M&P 1911. Just a quick reminder of where parts go and helping for laying things out when you take apart the small parts. So for basic disassembly, reassembly, some things that are going to be standard, you might already have them. Screwdriver. This is a relatively inexpensive screwdriver kit specific for gunsmithing. Tons of different bits. Flatheads, all different widths and thicknesses, star bits, standard Phillips heads, all the different size ranges that you may run into on any firearm you own or might come into your shop, and then obviously some basic Phillips heads. But something like this is used for kind of finish work. I've always got a beater screwdriver on hand for rough work. I like all-in-one type of stuff. You got 4 screwdrivers in one. I'm a fan of that. Again, you may have something like that lying around anyway. So screwdriver set, really important. Doing your own stuff or running a business. Hammers. Here's a small selection of hammers. I've got some bigger ball peens that I keep in the basement shop. But this selection of hammers right here is what I find myself using the most. This is a standard ball peen hammer. What do we got? This is an 8-ouncer. This is in a kit from Harbor Freight. Comes with a ton of ball peens. I think this is the smallest one. The heaviest one is huge. Can actually, sometimes I'll clamp it in a vise and use it as an anvil for finishing work, for shaping stuff. I mean, this is almost a jeweler's tool on this end. Or when something needs a little more persuading. On any firearm, I've never needed anything bigger than this. This is a jeweler's hammer with that really fat grip on the end. This is for very light work. You got your peen head on the back and a flat head there. This is for finishing work or very fine detail, really small pins, just little taps instead of one big smack. And then similar idea, brass, so it's non-marring if you got to be tapping some pins through. Really useful. These are the 3 most common hammers I use. I always have brass rod just kind of lying around. Brass is your friend when it comes to not messing up metal. This box that I'm opening here, which is always a pain in the butt to open. See this multi screwdriver coming in handy. Popping those latches. I usually leave this unlatched. Anyway. Another smaller hammer in this set here with a plastic side, and then again that brass side, and then the brass punches as well as some plastic punches and a couple unhardened steel punches there. This is the first lesson in inexpensive versus not. That's supposed to be longer. Unhardened steel is gonna break eventually. Now this guy just turned into a starter punch, so it's still useful. I have some more punches in a drawer here. These are old school. These are inherited, I guess, from my dad, who used to be in tool and die. Some good hardened steel punches. This punch set, maybe 20 bucks. I don't remember. Somewhere between 15 and 25, maybe 30 bucks. The idea of get what you pay for. The brass punches are good. The plastic ones are plastic. The steel ones are not hardened. But like I said, I already had some fine ones for when I need fine stuff. If you're looking at doing more serious work, or you don't have some hardened ones already, just pony up and buy them. They'll last a lifetime, and you'll be able to hand them down to your kids if they're interested in tool and die or any sort of machine work too. What do we got next? I'm gonna look around for a minute. All right, next few things. So staying with general purpose stuff. Bore snakes. Handy. Bore snakes, quick cleaning for yourself and for others. 12 gauge, that was a 22 and 223. You know, having stuff on hand for the most common stuff you're going to see, important. Basic Tapco spanner wrench. It's even got a beer popper on the end. Not the best idea working with guns, but it's more for humor than anything. So for AR pattern rifles, very handy tool for the main things you're going to be seeing there. General use tool, can pick that up anywhere for cheap. Wood burner, working on wood, want to do stippling of your own on any polymer, need that, you can pick that up at any craft store. Any general cleaning supplies, again, most common calibers you're going to see, having those handy. Snap caps, again, for common calibers, 9mm, 223. I got some 22 up there for function testing of your guns and customers. Little light here, bore light. Woo. So just a flashlight with a fiber, well, piece of plastic, so you can bend it around corners to look up things. Magazine brush, handy for cleaning out more than just magazines. Yeah, so that's a lot of the general use stuff. Let me open the drawers and see what else we got. Key general use stuff. Good set of Allen keys, metric and English. Essential. Ooh, little screwdriver, very handy for little stuff. A long-handled set of Allen keys. I found very useful for reaching into grips and buttstock specifically. Very handy for that. Little less specific now. Shims for measuring tools, important. Let's talk about measuring tools now. So shims, important. Here's another lesson. Don't buy calibers at Harbor Freight. They might be $15, but they don't work. Case closed. Joke. Just got to pony up and get better calipers from the start. I'm a big fan of stare-it tools when it comes to precision measuring stuff. Just gonna grab those whenever. Ooh, thread locker. That's always lying around. Files, general use file, always good to have around. Some needle nose files in there too. Very handy. Good tools last you longer. Bad tools are either going to be your beaters or you're just going to keep replacing them. Buy once, cry once, right? Some more general use stuff. Bench block. This is basically designed for 1911 specifically, but this is really handy for any sort of work, for laying stuff down in the grooves, punching out pins, anything like that. Super, super, super handy tool. Again, this is more for 1911s as well as general use compared to the specific Apex tactical bench block. This is a lifesaver for working on pretty much any polymer frame pistol. Apex is obviously famous or better known for their M&P work. This works with Glocks, it works with SDs, it's worked with anything, any polymer frame gun I've put it in so far. You only really need to buy this, in my opinion, if you're going to be doing a lot of work on your own pistols or are a business. If you're just doing work once, you might pay somebody to do it, or just manage with jury rigging something together. Let's look through here, find any other stuff we want to look at. Be right back. All right, we got some more stuff out. As you can see, more Wheeler products. This stuff is for scopes. We got our laser bore sight. Really simple. Magnet onto the end of your barrel. Your battery goes in there, obviously. It's nice and heavy duty. This is very handy for giving yourself or a customer a pretty much on the paper first shot at the range while sighting in a new rifle. You're obviously limited to how centered you can get that device on the barrel, but if you're starting at maybe 25, under 50 yards, you're going to get on paper on your first shot, which is really nice. This bigger kit here, this is all for scope stuff. As you can see, it comes with all your instructions and whatnot. The kit we see here is for centering, lapping your rings, which basically means you're sanding the rings to true. This is a full kit for both 30 millimeter and 1-inch scope tubes. You've got your 220 grit lapping paste, some up here, your Loctite, different screwdriver bits for the fat wrench, really handy magnetic levels for getting that scope level on the rifle. The fat wrench, I love this thing. It's an acronym, something accurizing tool. I don't remember. It's a torque wrench screwdriver, so you adjust the torque by pulling out the cap and then twisting it, and you have your readings there. And like any torque wrench, it gives you a click when you reach your foot-pounds. So this is really important for, again, scopes. That's why it comes in this whole scope kit, making sure that tension is even on every component of the scope, and then how it attaches to the rifle, so that even pressure all around going to give you the most accurate scope that it could be. I also use that a lot on pretty much anything to give it a final tightening. A lot of times you will have a manufactured spec of a certain foot-pound of torque. It's never anything wild, but oftentimes I'll just use that to get that exact 10, 20-ish, usually no more than 30 foot-pounds of torque on any given screw. The higher torque applications are for barrels and everything like that, but for most components, I just like using it to make sure everything's nice and evenly torqued down, again, so there's even pressure all over the firearm, making it more accurate. So these tools, if you have a vast collection or you switch out optics a lot, this would be handy to have. I obviously have it because it's a service I offer to customers. Or mounting a new scope for them. If you just have a couple rifles, you probably wouldn't want to invest, or wouldn't need to invest a couple $100 in these tools here. For me, invaluable. All right, looking at more stuff. I'm just opening my drawers and looking around, honestly. Over time, you'll collect extra parts. Crush washers. And I can't think of the name. It's not a crush washer, but it serves the same purpose, but it's a bolt. Goes the other way. It'll come to me later. Random little pins got lying around there. What is that? Oh, that's an extractor. What else is in here? Little screws, odds and ends. Trigger pull gauge. You've seen this in some other videos. It's a nice to have. Again, this is a less expensive one. If you may have noticed, a lot of the stuff I've gotten here is Wheeler Engineering. They make pretty good stuff. I wouldn't say they make the best stuff for everything, but a lot of times it's like, yeah, I'll spend $15 on this trigger pull gauge. That's just a spring, and yeah, it works. It serves my purposes. You get tools when you need them. That's basically how I've done things for my personal life and for the shop. When I need a tool, if I don't already have it and it's a specialty thing, then you order it. Other stuff invaluable to have around. What other type of solvents or lube. I've always got, as we talked about in other videos, frog lube, both paste, liquid, big bottle of solvent. Got my ballast all lying around. What do we got? We got hops up here. We got Tri-Flow. We got some Goo Gone. Some more other hop stuff. Yeah, basically whatever type of lubricant or cleaner people might want used on their firearm, whatever they use at home, got that on hand. Looking at some more specific stuff now. Oh, gonna just move this out of the way. Heat gun, pretty handy. That's a Harbor Freight unit right there. Harbor Freight, I'm a fan of. You know, earlier I said don't buy calipers at Harbor Freight. Yeah, don't get precision fancy stuff or things that should be fancy at Harbor Freight. General use stuff, Harbor Freight every day of the week. This kit here is again another Wheeler Engineering kit, Delta series. This is an armorer's toolkit for AR-15 pattern rifles. I'm not going to take it all out right now. You got your cleaning mat. You got your upper receiver vise block. In here you've got your bench stand, your torque wrench, more cleaning brushes. Ooh, look at that. Same type of cleaning brushes I had before. I actually didn't realize I have two of these. Some other AR-15 specific tools for building or really fixing serious problems. This is an alignment tool for your gas tube. Got a heavier duty wrench in here too. Yeah, bigger, heavier duty multi-tool with, again, bits that you would need. Castle nut wrench. This actually attaches to your torque wrench for torquing down your barrel. When you get into the specific stuff, like if you're building from scratch, things like the torque wrench, those are important for making sure that it's going to function properly and safely. Under here, I have a normal rifle gun vise. That's handy for mounting scopes, mounting and leveling scopes, instead of just laying something on the bench and kind of moving it around, hoping that it's square. So that's an essential. Another essential, I'm going to move the camera mount vise on the corner here. Harbor Freight Special. This is a 4-inch vise. If I did it again, or I might upgrade to a 6-inch vise. These are soft jaws inside here. I think they were like $12 on Amazon. As you can see, they got different grooves, you know, so you can clamp barrels or rod, or just anything in general, and they're that plastic material with magnets in them, so you don't scratch or otherwise mar your metal surfaces. You don't want scratched up or anything. So, in summary, specific tools for the specific job. Buy once, cry once for your fancier tools or precision stuff like your measuring tools. Again, I'll just grab those calipers. They work, like they turn on and they give you, and a number appears on the screen, but I can guarantee you it is not the right number. While measuring some parts, came up maybe 2.356 inches, and then remeasured it and it came up 5 point something inches. We're not talking a difference of thousandths of an inch. It was inches off measuring the same exact thing. So yeah, get something nice like Starrett. Yeah, so that's just tools as they are right now. Things that you definitely need, just reviewing again: good screwdriver set, an assortment of smaller hammers. Jeweler's tools are really interchangeable with gunsmithing tools. A lot of times it's just how it's labeled. A decent to good set of punches, brass punches, whatever's going to be fine. But for those steel punches, make sure you have some good hardened steel ones. Again, they're going to be more expensive, but they're going to last multiple lifetimes. Specific stuff as the needs come up. Cleaning tools and cleaning products, have plenty of that lying around at all times, for yourself and others. And really just have fun. I love tools. I would say if I collected anything, it's tools, aside from firearms and archery related stuff. I I think I'm a little stereotypical in that way. Going to Harbor Freight, going to Sears for Craftsman stuff. Again, not the highest end of things, but for around the house stuff that isn't earning my living with it, yeah, that stuff's fine. Love tools. Anyway, that's all I got for now. If you got any questions about specific tools or any other recommendations or my experiences so far, just let me know. You can email me or just ask in the comments below. And I hope you learned something, even though it's just a little review. You can always learn something every day.